OMG, I knew it. Robbi is pregnant. How many weeks are you? I can't wait to meet your baby. You're glowing. When are you due? Guys, these are just a few of many comments that I saw on my YouTube videos. Literally, some of these comments had hundreds of likes. Let me just tell you, as a non-pregnant person, reading these comments definitely cut me deep. You know what I mean? It hurt me just a little bit, but it also gave me a reality check. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Robbi and you probably clicked on this video because of the very dramatic thumbnail. And obviously we're speaking about bloating, so I will be sharing with you all of the tips and tricks that I've learned. I'll also be getting a dietitian on later to speak with us and give us her tips and tricks as well. Now, let me just preface this video by saying bloating is normal. It happens to all of us all of the time. So if it does happen to you, don't feel like it's weird or, you know, don't feel like you're the only one, because that is so far from the truth. The reality is most of us experience bloating at some point in our lives. You know, of course, after a big night or after a holiday season, it's very, very common. I started asking myself, why does bloating happen? Like, why? And what can I do about it? So of course I got onto Google and I was very overwhelmed by the amount of results. It was intimidating to say the least. So let's go back to October when I started getting these comments on my YouTube and I started getting really butthurt by it. But then I also realized, okay, you can read it and you can be sad about it, or you can go do something about it. So I went to the doctor and I was like, this is what's going on. I'm feeling very bloated all of the time. I'm not eating anything irregular. I don't believe that I have any allergies, all of these things. We had this discussion. He talked to me a bit about why bloating happens, which was interesting. And then he also told me there's a couple things that I could do about it. The first thing he recommended was to speak with a dietitian. And I had a dietitian recommend to me to do a food intolerance test to find out, is there something that I'm eating that my body isn't loving, isn't agreeing with, isn't reacting well to. So I did an at-home test. It was literally just a blood prick. I sent it away and it came back and the results were, to be quite frank, not even dramatic. I was astonished because in the top things that I was reacting to is literally some of my favorite foods that I eat every single day, like eggs and eggplant and chicken even. And I mean, you guys know I love a good chicken nug as much as the next person. I'm going to get a secondary test because I'm obviously wanting to confirm that before I kind of, you know, eliminate things or minimize things in my diet. And the second thing that the dietitian mentioned to me is your gut health. And this was something that I never really thought about before. So our gut contains trillions of bacteria. We have good bacteria and we have bad bacteria. And sometimes those bad bacteria can flourish and then they can leave us with symptoms like skin blemishes, constipation, abdominal pain, bloating, and also even weaken our immune system. And something else they let me know that I had no idea about, I was kind of shocked, disgusted, appalled, interested, intrigued. You're like, Robbi, please don't build the suspense. What is this important piece of information that you learned? Apparently, poop holds the secret to a healthier life because it's the most effective way to measure your gut bacteria. So I decided to do an at-home gut test. I'm going to do it right now and I'm going to give you guys the results as well. So a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Ombre Labs. So this test ships straight to your door. It has really easy to follow instructions and don't worry, it is very sanitary. After you send it back to Ombre Labs, Ombre Lab will then give you a detailed breakdown of your gut bacteria, the health issues it may be causing, and what specific foods you need to consume more or less of to improve your health. So I'm gonna go do the test. It looks pretty easy. The instructions are really simple. It's not as intimidating as you might think it is. Plus you're doing it in the privacy of your own home, unless you're also putting it onto YouTube and putting it out to everybody. But regardless, it's for your health, it's worth it. So let's do it. Is it normal to feel this bloated all the time? Is there some foods I'm not eating enough of or I'm eating too much of? If you ask yourself any of those questions, or if you do struggle with any of the symptoms that I talked about, you can also get one of these tests at $30 off if you visit the link here on the screen. It's tryombre.com/Robbi.
Later.
So I just got my results back from Ombre. I'm going to put them on the screen here. Okay, so it says that my bacteria level is 70% optimal, which means 30% needs to be improved. It looks like I need to work on 4 different bacterias, increase them. Symptom likeliness, fatigue, anxiety, and bloating, definitely things I've experienced. Now that I've got these results, I'm going to jump on a call with the dietitian and see what she has to say.
My name is Melina De La Rosa and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist. Ultimately, bloating is a normal part of everyday life, and it can actually be a good indication that your body's just working properly. Bloating is caused by an excess gas in their gut. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, swallowing air, increased fluid in your bowels, and constipation. And this is caused by eating certain foods, sugar, alcohol, fiber, a food intolerance.
Yeah. So you mentioned a couple of things that cause it. Is there certain things that you're aware of that might make it worse?
Stress, anxiety, eating high-fat meals, weight gain, changes during your menstrual cycle, any carbonated beverages, chewing gum.
Wow, I didn't know that. So knowing all of this, knowing that it can be caused by so many different factors, if someone's wanting to figure out why they're experiencing bloating, where would you recommend that they start?
Some remedies that can help would ultimately be take your time to eat to reduce bloating. There's a specific day that you want to avoid that, maybe just avoid those foods that I've mentioned. Also, eating smaller portions, eating in large volumes of food can contribute to bloating.
So eating smaller meals throughout the day rather than just huge sittings.
Yeah, and then limit salty foods and fatty foods. A high salt intake has been found to contribute a water retention in the gut and feelings of bloating.
Is water retention part of bloating, or is that a whole separate thing?
It could be a part, yes, especially if you're eating a diet high in salts.
Even as you're saying these things, I can tick that off. I'm like, I eat very fast. I'm one of 6 kids, so I think growing up, we always kind of ate so quick. But if I'm wanting to reduce it and be aware of it, when do I know there's a problem? I need to go seek professional help.
Definitely check for any lactose intolerance. Sometimes people don't know that, they have intolerance to dairy products. And you can get that at any age. You can get it as an adult, as a kid. It just varies. Also with allergies, I found out recently I was allergic to wheat.
Wow.
So
and did you cut it out completely?
I have cut it out completely, and I felt a difference right away. Irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, is also a disease that's linked to severe bloating. But if you have any, severe abdominal pain or worsening symptoms, I would seek medical attention or speak with your doctor. Also working with the dietitian. And then ultimately, bloating happens to everyone, especially if you're transitioning to a more plant-heavy. You recognize that it takes time for our bodies to adjust to this increase in fiber. Instead, try to embrace it. This is our normal bodily process, and it isn't something to be embarrassed or ashamed of.
Thank you so much for all this advice. Honestly, it's really encouraging to hear that it is, it is so normal. I know we all say it's normal, but when it happens to you, you get so frustrated, and you obviously don't want to be body conscious, but you just also want to be aware and understanding what's going on with your body. If any of you want to chat further with Melina about this, I'm going to put her email in the description box below, and you can schedule a consultation with her. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was so interesting getting to sit down with Melina and just have all of that kind of things that I've been researching solidified. It started off as this panic situation of recovering from those comments, and I actually learned so much what I should be cutting out. I affirmed that, got a second opinion, and now I cut that out. The bloating has stopped tremendously. And then obviously I've done this ombre labs test, and that is just so informational. There's definitely been a lot of takeaways from this video for me, but the main one that I learned is, 1, listen to your body. Your body is great to you. Does everything for you, so treat it well, feed it with the right things, understand it, realize what is your anatomy and what is not. At the end of the day, we also have a uterus there, we have anatomy, bloating is normal. That is definitely one of the main takeaways that I got from this. I'm going to be way more gentle with myself and the way I speak to myself, and just treat my body better. If you've experienced anything with bloating as well, comment below. I know that I'm not alone, and this is a very, very common thing. And if you want to try the test from Ombe, I'm going to put the link in the description below. Alright guys, I'm going to go order my prebiotics, and I will talk to you very soon.